Mono Remembrance team. Some people say it is the strongest team for now, and the elation team will be stronger than Mono Remembrance team when every member has been released. And by Mono elation I mean Servowolf 999, Yao Guang, Nihilux, and Pearl. Other people say that Mono Remembrance will remain the strongest team in the game, even after Mono elation team is formed. And I have to say I am with the second people. It is not because I am biased towards Remembrance class, or not because they have memo sprites aka summons that I like, but because of the team's kit and because how this team works. I even believe that Mono Remembrance team will be the strongest team in the game for a very long time. Hello there. More than 99% of my viewers aren't subscribed. If you are one of them, remember to subscribe. Every team member scales of HP, which means they are tankier than the average unit. Hyacinth can increase all teammates' HP by a significant amount, which makes the team tanky, and makes the entire team deal more damage since all of them scale of HP. And if you have her E1, she increases teammates' HP even more, which makes the team even more tankier. In most if not all teams, you don't want to get hit, but with Mono Remembrance, you want to get hit. Even though Castros has a limit on the new butt generated from getting healed, she doesn't have a limit on the new butt generated from receiving damage. Evernight and Eevee get a crit damage boost and memory stacks when they receive damage. Hyacinth and Aika heals everyone every time a teammate gets attacked, which means more damage. Since the more she heals, the more damage she will be able to deal. So the more frequently enemies attack and the stronger their attacks become, like in Anomaly Arbitration Blight mode, or the harder difficulties of Divergent Universe and the Currency Wars, the more damage Mono Remembrance team will be able to do. This team also has a Guardian Angel that prevents units from getting killed. Let's say you get unlucky and all enemies target one unit. As long as Pollux is in the battlefield and its HP is higher than 1, then that unit won't to die. There's also Castros' global passive, but that's a one-time thing. And since in this team there can be up to 7 units that can get attacked instead of 4 units, bounce attacks will be less dangerous, and by less dangerous I mean they will have a less chance of targeting the same unit. The teammates in this team, like in most teams, have a good synergy with each other. The whole thing was Hyacinth's signature light cone, and the Castros reducing the entire team's HP, which will make Castros get new but Evernight get Memoria and energy, and Hyacinth will be able to heal more, which means she will be able to deal more damage. Hyacinth can heal the team a lot and frequently to make sure that the HP drain from Castros won't put the team in a dangerous situation, and it will also give Castros new buds. Evernight can reduce her own HP and explode Eevee, which will give Castros new buds, and Hyacinth will heal thanks to Evernight HP consumption, which will also give Castros new buds. Evernight is also the best support unit in the game for memo sprites. As for Serene, she gives unique buffs to Castros, Hyacinth, and Evernight that no other unit can give. All of this is at E0S1. Since I have planned to have most of these units at E1 and E2, I will only talk about their E1s and E2s. Castros' E1 and E2 increases her own damage and doesn't do much for the team. Hyacinth's E1 will make the team tankier since the HP increase from her ultimate becomes bigger, and they deal more damage since their damage scales off HP. It will also make the team harder to kill, increase Hyacinth's damage, and give more new buds to Castros since every time a team member attacks, Hyacinth heals them, and the more Hyacinth heals them, the more damage she will deal. Hyacinth's E2 gives 30% speed to the entire team, which does a lot. It will make Castros act more, which means more turns, more frequent team-wide HP consumptions, which Hyacinth and Evernight love, more frequent new bud generation, and more frequent dragons, which means more damage. Makes Hyacinth heals more since her healing kills off her speed beyond 200 speed, which means more damage since her damage increases the more she heals, and makes her act more frequently, which means more frequent team-wide heals, which means more new buts for Castros, more damage for Hyacinth, and makes the team harder to kill. If she has her signature on her, that means more frequent team-wide HP reduction, which means even more new buts for Castros, more Memoria and energy for Evernight, and even more heals and damage for Hyacinth. Makes Evernight act more, which means more frequent HP consumption for Evernight, which increases Hyacinth's heals and damage. Gives new buds to Castros, and more Memoria and energy for Evernight. Also more frequent Eevee summons, which means more frequent explosions, more damage, and more new buds. Makes Serene act more and get more recollection stacks, since everyone acts more frequently, which means more recollection stacks. And it increases Serene's damage because of the ice resistance ignore of enemies that scales off her speed beyond 180 speed. And since everyone acts more frequently, the heals from Hyacinth's E1 will happen more frequently, which Castros, Hyacinth, and Evernight love since it increases new bud generation, Memoria generation, heals, survivability, and damage. Evernight's E1 makes the team deal more damage, especially against a small number of enemies. Evernight's E2 increases her and the team's crit damage, since her buff scales off her own crit damage. Increases number of memoria stacks gained, which means more damage for every night, and increases the duration of the buff from her ultimate, which guarantees that her buff will be active for the entire battle, even if she doesn't have energy regen robe on her. Sirene's E1 increases her own damage from her ultimate attacks and does nothing for the Moon Remembrance team. Sirene's E2 makes her able to use her ultimate from the get-go, which means everyone will have their energy refilled and be able to use their ultimates immediately, and the two members will get Sirene's exclusive buff from the get-go. Being able to use ultimates from the start of the battle is big, since Hyacinth and Evernight can apply their buffs from their ultimates immediately, and Castorus can summon Bolex immediately after he explodes, since he will be already on the field when the battle starts thanks to Castorus's technique. It also increases the true damage buff that everyone gets, which increases the team's damage. I want to talk about their E4s or their E6 since most players will stop at E2. Basically, Moon Remembrance team is the tankiest team in the game. The team with the most survivability doesn't have a high skill ceiling like some teams. These first 3 pointers make this team one of the best teams for casuals who don't want to invest into teams that require skill. A team that benefits from receiving damage, a team that has a way to prevent getting one shot as long as Bollocks has more than 1 HP, the only team that increases the team members from 4 to 7, a team that synergizes well with each other, a team in which some E1s and E2s are really good for the team. After everything that has been said, don't you think that Moon Remembrance team is very hard to overthrow as the best team in the game? Tell me what you think. Thank you dear subscribers for supporting this channel and motivating me to make more videos. I hope this video helped you, and if it did, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.